Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time, here with Matt, the mortgage guy. How you doing, sir?
Doing great.
Hey, I forgot in the first video to tell people where to go to follow you. So let's get that out of the way right now. Where do you want to send them?
Send them to Matt, the mortgage guy on YouTube. Check it out. I've got to be approaching 500 videos. I feel like it was 460 or 470 in the past. And
Yeah, you put out
it's,
some good stuff, man. I
it's,
watch
it,
them.
Thanks. It's crazy how quick they add up when you do 3 a week. And that was, I found my rhythm where I can't do daily posts.
Yeah.
And, when I first started, I was doing it every Monday and that's probably not enough with as much stuff that's going on, as much things is changing. So Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday.
That's
every
awesome.
week I've gotten to a rhythm where you're going to get a video from me, whether it's talking about what's going on in the real estate market, whether it's talking about changes to mortgage. A lot of the past stuff is just a library of mortgage questions. Someone
awesome.
asked me about the rules for buying an FHA 2 to 4 unit. It's in there. And
Yeah.
so if you go to my channel and you're looking for mortgage specific content, type in a few words on things you're looking for.
Yeah.
House hack, FHA 2 to 4 unit, whatever it is. There's a chance I made a video on it. And if I haven't, and you got a good question, ask it to me. I'll probably make a video on it.
There you go. I love that about you. You really do respond to your comments. So I appreciate the diligence that takes. Hey, I want to tell you about something I heard. It's in the commercial or multifamily market. So again, not a market you lend on, but you're a mortgage broker. You understand why financial institutions do things. And I just want to kind of tie out what I'm seeing. Is that cool?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So in the first video, we talked about FHFA, creating and then removing a 0.5 point fee for residential refinances. And generally speaking, they did that because they were nervous about the future. Is that kind of fair to say?
Yeah, it's fair.
Okay. So again, what FHA, Fannie, and Freddie are doing in small multifamily loans. So just so we understand the context, for them, a small multifamily loan is 7 million and below, right? That's where they divide the line, $7 million. So just today, or just this week, they announced that they are adding more requirements, right? They're increasing the strength of the balance sheet partner, right? If you're borrowing $7 million, you got to have somebody on the team that has a net worth of that. They're adding in experience. They're adding in these other variables into those loans. So again, I'm somebody who watches lenders because they send signals, and I use signals to kind of validate or challenge myself. If you've been following me for any length of time, I'm buying homes now because I see future pain in the 5s to 40 units, whereas where I buy apartments, which would be in this 7 million level. So I want to ask you, given your experience with financial institutions, when they change the rules or they add qualifications, generally speaking, is that because they are nervous and they want less loans, or what's going on when they add things like that, overlays and the like?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're spot on with their nervous, and really, as much as people don't like it when they start getting more no answers, they're protecting the consumer, because at the end of the day, they want to write good loans. They want to write loans that perform, whether it's commercial or residential. And so, like we saw, was it early this year when they cut back to 7% on the investment property in the second homes?
That was this year. Yeah.
I think that that's a move that says, slow down. Let's not get ourselves over leveraged or too over our skis as investors. And I think this is probably something similar.
Yeah.
And when there's pullback in residential stuff, we're always just like, you should want to help everybody you can or do this. Well, it's detrimental if lending guidelines are too loose.
Oh yeah. We saw that in 06. Yeah. Or 7.
Right.
Yeah.
And of everybody I talk to and hundreds of people I talk to, there's a certain portion of them that now's not the right time for you to buy. And so this feels to me like Fannie and Freddie saying to some, multifamily investors, it may not be the right time. I can't remember. I think it was you and one of your experts who's in multifamily just talking about different loan terms that some people are having to use to make things pencil.
Yes.
And, I see it in residential, and residential is my lane. So it's just like, hey, listen, if you've got to put 35% down and you've got to do an interest only, and you've got to do these things to make this thing cash flow and to make this thing a deal, that's not a deal.
Yeah. Exactly.
And if the lenders rein you in and say, no, not a deal, we won't lend on that, it's a good thing for you.
Yeah.
Them putting the what's that thing called when you have it, you can't go over a certain speed, right?
Governor.
Yeah. Them putting the governor on an investor ultimately is serving the investor in the long term, not letting you drive too fast where you're going to crash.
Where it's
You've
unsafe.
got it. Right. And commercial, more so even than residential, it's based on the performance of the asset.
Correct.
And so if it's not an asset that's performing and they're not going to lend on it, that's what I told a lot of investors I worked with, where we would structure or talk about, they're going to go get hard money. They're going to, buy a home and rehab it. And then we're going to refinance it into conventional lending. If the hard money lender doesn't want to lend to you, you don't have a deal.
Yeah, exactly.
You do not have a deal. If they're telling you no, that's a red
saving
flag.
you.
Right. They're saving you from some pain. And so it's probably something similar in the commercial space where they just see people that want to get over their skis and they're saying, we know how this will likely end and it's not good for you. So let us save you.
Yeah. The other thing that I think is happening is, first and foremost, lenders are like builders. Lenders want to lend, builders want to build. But what I'm envisioning, right, are these big institutions. Again, they likely have teams, right? And the team that's focused on 7 million and below apartments, they're looking at their loan book, and what they have seen is their watch list, right? Their problematic loans. What they're seeing is that's growing. And at some point they have a meeting that says, you know what? We really don't want any more of these. And we are seeing trends that we should stop future loans coming in because we could prevent future pain. That's what I think is going on. They want to lend, but they also don't want a loan book with a watch list that's, growing exponentially. Is that fair?
Right. Yeah. And I can relate it to my world, to residential, because if your debt to income ratios get shrunk and things get a little bit tighter, that's just the folks who are writing these loans saying, listen, if we go 45 to 50 DTI on these conventional loans, we've got 5x more likelihood that defaults versus 45 and below. So if we want to avoid future defaults and we want to have a book that performs, we'll do everything 45 and below. And, there's enough demand, there's enough buyer pool out there to where, sorry to the people that are on the edge, but it's really in your best interest to keep you from future disaster.
Yeah. And what I'm seeing coming again is my strategy isn't changed and it's actually validated, right? I'm going to stay in the single family space in my market. Not all markets are the same, but that's for me. And I will wait for the pain, because the other thing I know about multifamily is they can limp a long time, right? And it's only probably at the refi time where they're forced to, swallow a bitter pill and bring up equity or sell the building. So yeah, I think that loan book, again, where I like to play 7 million and below, the watch list is getting bigger and it'll be exciting to see what's coming. So any closing thoughts on this?
No, just I like where your head's at. And I like the fact that, you're looking at these signals and thinking about what might this mean? Yeah. Because, whether it's commercial or residential, it's important stuff to think about when the powers that be and the people that hold the bags of money are starting to make changes. They're generally, looking a little bit farther ahead than those of us who are just, working day to day.
Yeah. I look at a lot of deals, but they look at thousands and thousands of times more deals than I look at. So when they make a change, I pay attention. So good to know. Thanks, buddy.
Yep.